Hi, I'm Lisa Leiter. In Chicago Business Today, the future of roadwork. One of the areas hardest hit during the Great Recession, construction. The industry lost 20,000 jobs, or about 24% of the pre-recession total. Those slashed payrolls are certainly contributing to Chicago's overall unemployment rate, which now stands at 10.5%, the highest in more than a quarter century. Construction companies statewide split about $936 million in projects funded by the federal stimulus program. But now that most of that money has been tapped and private work is few and far between, companies are looking to the state to prevent a big drop in business next year. Illinois lawmakers approved a 5-year, $31 billion capital spending plan last summer, half of it for roads and bridges, but only a fraction of the more than $4 billion allocated for projects this year has actually been awarded. Spending is forecasted to drop next year, and the state's cash-strapped position threatens to further cut the amount of money available for roads.
The big question is what happens next year. You know, we're in the first year of a 5-year capital program. Only the first year of funding has been approved. Okay. And one of the big issues for the legislature in asking them to sign off on the next year of funding for projects such as the widening of I-80 next year is going to be that their financial situation just keeps getting worse.
The state's credit rating was recently downgraded, which means borrowing costs will rise if lawmakers decide to issue bonds for some of next year's big highway projects. As for federal funding, the next 6-year transportation bill is already a year overdue. Charlie Gallagher already has made 2 trips to Washington this year, trying to save money allocated to Illinois through extensions of that federal highway bill. It's much needed work for his 80-year-old paving company, which relied almost solely on publicly funded projects last year. Before the recession, half of his business was public, half private.
Well, they were very important to us and very fortunate that we had the work to bid on. It helped us maintain a relatively stable workforce, that there would have been hundreds and thousands of people that were laid off without that. I mean, we're already down to about 200 people from 300 in the last couple of years, and we're just one company.
Gallagher says competition is intense for whatever work is available, with 12 to 15 bidders per project, as opposed to the 2 or 3 before the recession. And many of those bids are coming in below what it costs to do the work.
It's a balance that we have to try to live with, and that is, if you don't get any work, you lose a lot of money. If you bid very thin margins, you can reduce that loss, but you aren't likely going to make money this year.
As for private paving work, Gallagher has about $35 million in proposals out to companies who have yet to make money available for them. And lack of funds is not the only problem facing road projects in this area. Construction workers are preparing to strike as soon as tomorrow after talks broke down earlier this week. At issue, wage and benefit increases. A strike could bring work like the repaving of the Eisenhower Expressway to a standstill. Well, that's this edition of Chicago Business Today. For more on this story, be sure to check out this week's print edition of Crain's or chicagobusiness.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.